Hey there, it's Alan. Um, right now, I am approximately 2.5 months on T, so I wanted to do a little update. Um, so, you can probably tell that I'm in a tent. That's because I'm camping right now, which is nice. There are a lot of nice big trees around me. So anyway, um, one thing I could mention is that I got my blood tests done a couple weeks ago and got the results back, and today I met with my endocrinologist. Although we had been emailing previous to this, so I already knew the results of the blood test, which were, namely, that my T levels were way too high. Um, like, men are supposed to have a range of 200 to 1,000 units. I forget what the units are. And I had 1,200, which is too high. It could be half of that and still be completely normal. So, that's dangerous because I don't want to get, like, the negative side effects from having too much testosterone because, too much or having a lot is not better. That can cause harm to anybody's body. Um, so I had been on a dose of 100 milligrams a week. But now my doctor told me to go down to 50 a week, so cut my dose in half, and then I will get more blood tests in about 2 months, and then see where my levels are at then. Um, so, that's that. Um, um, well, let's see. Other stuff I did today, aside from meeting with my doctor, is that I had a haircut. I went back to the barber again. It's much shorter than I intended. I do not want it that short. It looks like a military haircut or something. But, can't do anything about it now. I mean, it's alright. Just hope I don't get sunburned, like, on my head. And that was fun, going to the barber. It felt easy. I didn't feel nervous at all like I did the first time. Um, like, I get the impression that my voice is low enough now so that I can talk and say as much as I want, and people still realize that I'm a guy. So that's pretty freeing and cool. That's definitely a good thing about being on T, the voice, and how that influences, like, social interactions and how people view you. Before I forget about it, another thing related to voice is that a couple days ago, I made a phone call. I don't need to tell the details, it was just a phone call, like, to a company, essentially, and, they didn't have my name already, so all they had to go on was my voice, and they called me Sir. Like, I talked to two different people, and they each called me Sir, and that's the first time that I've ever been Sir'd on the telephone. 'Cause before being on T, I, I think my voice was just kind of a regular female voice. So it's interesting how fast that's happened, 2.5 months on T, and I'm getting Sir'd on the phone. So that's cool. And I'm glad that that's the case because I start teaching again on Monday, which is just a few days from now. So that will be my first time teaching as a guy, after starting my transition. So that's stressful for me. I'm a bit scared. I mean, realistically, I think it'll go okay because, I think that I'm pretty believable as a guy. I mean, obviously, I don't look my age, and I feel really self-conscious about that, because I'm 32, and I don't look 32. And you know, teaching at the college level, it's helpful to not look the same as the students for the sake of having authority and respect. We'll see. I'm just gonna make sure to say when I introduce myself on the first day, like, there's a gust of wind there. I'll say, like, so my background is that I've been teaching for, 5 or 6 years, and I went to such and such university, and I got my master's in literature, and I've been, so, you know, saying that I've been teaching for that long and that I already have a master's degree, you know, you have to be a certain age to have that happen, so hopefully they'll get that and won't think that I'm 18. I think I will make another video once school starts and tell about that and tell about other stuff, issues related to my job and transitioning, because people ask me about that a lot, so I'll talk more about that another time soon. Another interesting social interaction that I had today was that I got my car's oil changed at Jiffy Lube, and I was slightly apprehensive because my female name, Allison, is still in their computer system in connection with my car. So, you know, they type in the car's license plate, and then up comes my name. So then, after I drop my car off and I'm waiting in the office, they come in, and normally they say, Allison, come on up. So, what do you want us to do with your car today? And in the past when that's happened, the employees do kind of give me a look, like they go into the office and they're like, Allison? And then I stand up and they're like, but today it was slightly different because I was sitting in the office and then the employee came in and he was like looking at the computer paper or whatever, and he's like, Allison? And then I started to stand up and he's like, or whoever owns the such and such car, and I was like, yeah, that's me, and I said right away, oh, my first name is changed, so could you change that on the system for me? And he was like, oh, is that your sister? And I said, yes. I was not planning on that. I had thought it out beforehand. I thought out what I was gonna say, and that occurred to me to say, oh, this used to be my sister's car, but now it's mine, so can you change the name? But I thought, you know, I don't want to get caught up in, like, lying and complication, and I don't want to disrespect myself by making up stories. So I wasn't going to do that, but since he just asked that, it was so easy to just say yes. So that's what happened. And it was very easy for him to change my name in the computer system. And, like, he seemed to have zero doubts that I was a guy. So that felt good. And then at the end when I was paying him, he kind of chatted with me, and it was different than what I'm used to experiencing, like with the man at Jiffy Lube, like, because he just started chatting, and normally, like, in the past, guys didn't really do that with me. Like, you know, he asked me about my car, and how it's been driving, and I told him that I'd been on a lot of rough dirt roads this summer, and, yeah, so that was cool. I liked it. So I'm happy with how things are going with my transition and how it, like, the results socially. It feels good. And then also, it's really cool that I don't have to worry about my chest, you know, like, being noticeable or anything, because I don't have it anymore. That's amazing. But I still have the habit that's ingrained of, like, when I walk into a place, you know, like the barbershop or something, You know, like, before I would sort of like, it's not like I hunch drastically, but just like really subtly. Or I don't even know if I really hunch that much, or if it's just that I was really self-conscious all the time of my chest. But now I start to do that, and then I'm like, oh wait, I don't have to do that. I can like stick it out, because it's just my chest now. It's kind of bigger, actually, than I thought it would be. And I'm sure that it has a little bit of swelling still, because it's been just very slightly more than 2 weeks post-op. But I, I do have a lot of muscle. I feel very fortunate. I mean, before surgery, well, pretty much all the time in my life normally, including before surgery, I work out a lot because I enjoy it. And I guess genetics are in my favor because it's really easy for me to have muscles, so I'm just thankful for that. Anyway, I'll do another video relating to chest stuff another time, but I'll show it to you just in case you're interested. It doesn't look different than in my previous video about it. There you go. Okay, what else? So, let me talk about just the standard T changes. So, my hair on my head is slightly more coarse than before. I'm still pretty greasy and have some acne, although it's not horrible. I do have some on my shoulders, but it's not like horrible. And then facial hair, yeah, it's still just coming. Like, there's a significant patch here that gets quite pokey after 1 day of, like, 1 day after shaving. Like, it's quite pokey on my chin, and just slightly pokey on my upper lip after 1 day. Although I mean, as you would expect, there's still not really anything there. And let's see, going down the body, that'll help me remember things and not forget stuff. One significant thing that's been happening lately is body hair. It's definitely starting to come in all over. Like, it's pretty much like fuzz. In some places, I just have like more blonde fuzz, as I said in a previous video, and then in some places it's fuzz, but it's starting to get a little darker than blonde. So that, I mean, that's happening really all over. Like, my arms have a bit more hair, or it's longer or something, and then, my legs a bit more, and it's, like, for sure starting to come in on my thighs, like, all around the thigh. So I imagine that before too long, soon, there's gonna be a major explosion of fur there, which is interesting. And then one thing that I like is hand hair. That has quite noticeably increased. I mean, you have to look carefully, because if I go like that, you really can't see anything. But it's for sure more than before. Here, and then on my fingers, which I may have mentioned last time, but it's just continuing. And then another thing is that, just sort of like my muscle, or, I don't know, body composition, like, the same stuff that I mentioned last time is continuing. Like, my legs are looking more manly in terms of shape and muscle. And my feet. That's something that I am really happy about, because I've never liked having, like, feminine-looking feet. So they're getting more, like, how would I describe it? Sort of more muscular-looking, like, thicker. So I'm happy about that. I guess the same is going for my hands, too. My hands are thicker. Yeah. Like, my wedding ring doesn't fit, although, it sort of is an irony, or I don't know, but, you know, like I've said, I'm separated from my wife, so, yeah. That's sort of weird that that was around the same time that my hands got bigger. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a quick word about mental. Um, I, I've had so much stress going on, like, just my life is insane right now. The tent is an example of that, living in a tent. But all things considered, I feel like, I'm doing fine mentally and emotionally being on T. I don't really feel that different than normal. Um, I have energy today. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because I'm decreasing my testosterone dose, so maybe now that I'm probably more in a healthy range at this moment, maybe, you know, if you have too high of a level of testosterone, I've heard that it can make you feel kind of crappy or irritable, or you don't feel that good. But when you have a normal level of testosterone, then you're more likely to feel good. So maybe that's why I have energy. Anyway, sorry, another long video. I can't help it. I see people doing these, like, 4-minute tea update videos. And, like, why can't I do that? It seems so easy. But hasn't happened yet, has it? But I guess if you didn't like long videos, you wouldn't be watching this or subscribing to my channel. So anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I always really appreciate hearing people's comments. You know, it's cool to feel like I'm part of a community, so thank you guys for that. Talk to you later. Bye.